Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the League of Europe. We are here for round number 7 around the Monza City circuit. My name is Jacob. I'm taking you guys through this once again. I am back, of course, maybe not for too long because I don't think I'll be in next week, but you get to hear my sweet dulcet tones again for another week. And joining me alongside once again, the man that has been an absolute saint in covering me for the time being. It is Mr. RJW. Ross, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing very well. It feels like it's been a very long time since we've done this, even though it's been 2 weeks. But it just feels a bit weird being back, really. Yeah, it's been 2 weeks with no LOE, and it's all gone to pot.
It really has. We've only got 15 drivers, well, 16. One will be turning up during qualifying of Sweet Ross. But yeah, only 16 drivers for this evening. Looking quite dry so far. And as you say, it has all pretty much gone to pot with what's going on. Obviously, Brent got promoted, as everybody would have known. So it meant that White Tri White took the lead of the championship standings. And even taking second place at Imola last time out as well. Last time's race runner was actually Hepula Boy, who is not here this evening. He did let me know that he wasn't going to be here, so that's fine. But yeah, of course, for the reserve driver taking a win last time out, and then as I say, White Tri in second and Farrell in third. I kind of get the feeling we're going to get almost a similar podium, obviously without White Tri White and Hepula Boy. Okay, meaning that I feel like Farrell might end up getting on the podium this evening, but just who's going to be the ones to join him this time?
Ooh, don't know. I don't really know. I can't really remember from people I've raced around about around here who's actually good around here. I mean, yeah, Farrell's the obvious bet, but everyone else is a bit. Who knows? If it's chaos, someone like Cam K tends to benefit when it's chaos. Rex is always up there if he gets his qualifying right. So yeah, I really don't know. It could literally be anyone, but yeah, as you said, I'd expect Farrell to be there. Everyone else is a bit of a
Yeah, I mean,
rolling
literally.
dice.
I was going to say, literally, just doing a few practice with runs with him there as well. He was just rapid. Like he was almost as quick as I was in there. So yeah, I think Farrell. I can't lie. I think he's pretty much going to be my vote for the win for this evening. As for everybody else, I'd like to see Mr. Scottish Jordan up there. I mean, he's usually a consistent runner as well, so I'd like to see him try and battle it out with Farrell up there. So the Scottish versus the Irish, I think, would be a pretty good one. As well as getting Ryan B in there, that means he's Scottish beat English beat Irish. So yeah, the good old battle, I suppose, as you would say. So
Which order?
exactly, we'll see the order, I suppose, towards the end of that. But qualifying runs are now getting on board and riding on board at the moment with the Scotsman of Jordan as he's just making his way at the exit of the first sector. I better put the lap data on just so we can see that as well. But Scotsman just making his way around the first Lesmo now and coming up towards the second Lesmo and down towards Ascari. Keeps it nice and planted on the circuit. DRS wide open now for the second time in this lap. And as I say, making his way down towards Ascari. What is his time going to be? It's a 53.4 in the second sector in total. So looking like a decent lap time for the Scotsman at the exit of Ascari. Has a tiny little bit of a wobble just taking it inside curve, but can sometimes help that lap time as well. Now just making his way up towards Parabolica, the last corner. We'll see if he's able to keep that planted going through there as well. Can be quite easy to spin it if you do get on the power a little bit too early, but Jordan keeps it nice and planted. Up towards the line he comes, and it's a 20.2 to kick us off in Division 3 as Jay Hings behind him goes to 20.0, Cam K behind him does a 19.8, and then Ryan B behind him does a 19.5. So these times are just appreciating quite fast. Jordan probably going to try and go for another lap at some point. Maybe not on the same set of tyres, but definitely wants to try and improve on that lap.
Yeah, as Farrell crosses the line, and there we go, 19.3. So that will be the benchmark. From what I've seen, whether anyone can get close to Farrell, as I'm trying to find the next person on. Yeah, Scuba, I think, is coming around to finish his first lap. As there's so many, there's a yellow flag in the first sector. Has someone spun at turn 1? I don't know. As Scuba comes across the line and goes P11. So time to be found. There's both Ferraris and both McLarens, as we have Sui Ross join. Is Sui Ross in the McLaren?
Yeah, just for this week, I think, because
yes.
he's
okay.
put down as a reserve anyway. So yeah, he'll be in the
All right.
McLaren this week.
There we go then. So 2 Ferraris, 2 McLarens to go as Matt Tibos crosses the line on a 31.7. Might go again with that one. And we have one of the Ferraris coming out the pits. That would be Mr. Wouter coming out to do his first run of the session. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Wouter is the highest place reserve in the championship.
I believe you are right. I think he's actually sitting in third or
do you know what?
fourth.
Mr. Wouter is now full-time. He was reserve.
Yes.
And he's now full-time in the Ferrari.
Yeah.
So, is in 4th place by a point behind Jordan. But a lot of ground to be made up. But this is the week to do it when White isn't here. So, big chance.
Yeah, it gives him a massive opportunity to try and get a decent haul of points for this evening as well. So we'll see what he's able to do, and maybe even try and jump up to third in the championship if he can beat Jordan. I think Farrell's probably going to be a bit too much of a reach, but unless Farrell DNFs, then yeah, he's got the opportunity. It's just riding on board with Matt Tibos. He was actually doing his flying lap now, so we'll see what he's able to do as he makes his way up towards the line. It's going to be a 1 minute 20.2 for the McLaren, and into P11 he goes. Again, not a bad lap time whatsoever. So, yeah, pretty much everybody's first runs of qualifying done other than Suiros and Mr. Varta. I think they're just, as you say, gearing up to start their laps as well. And in fact, Mr. Varta has actually just started his laps, so we'll stick on board with him, making his way down towards turn 1, 2, and 3. But yeah, I mean, first set of laps on the board. MCR as well, didn't even manage to catch that. He went out in between Ryan B and Farrell. So, and as I say, that Jay Hings then puts it up into second position now as well. So 19.478 for Jay Hings. Again, very tight towards that top end. The top 5 all separated by 3 tenths of a second, just under 4 tenths of a second. As Mr. Varta, 26.6 in the first sector. Probably not the best first sector that you'll see for this evening, but again, could probably try and make it up a bit more in the second and the third sectors of this circuit. But coming around Lesmo 2 now is Mr. Varta. Has a little bit of a wiggle coming out of there, so it's going to cost him a little bit of lap time that he would have hoped for. But now making his way up towards the Ascari chicane. And again, very fast going through there, 53.2 the sector split, so not bad so far. But yeah, very tight and twisty going through there. Keeps it nice and planted just about on the track. And now up towards Parabolica. One more corner left to go, but it is a very, very long corner to take, and we'll see if Mr. Varta is able to do this. Around the final corner he comes, takes it out wide, doesn't try to cut inside, strangely enough. So Mr. Varta up to the line. It's a 19.927, creeps it into the 19s and creeps it into the top 10, a P8 for the Ferrari.
They're all in the mix as Swirosh has invalidated this banker lap. Everyone's there or thereabouts, well, for the most part. I mean, it's within a second down to 12th, which, I mean, round here is a fair bit of time because it is just straight lines. But it's still relatively close. That top group, 3 temps, well, 4 temps between the top 6, as Crack takes a very interesting line through Ascari. But they're all coming round basically to start their second runs of the session. Yeah, Yachts of Yellow Flat was close to contact coming up to a Parabolica between Crack and, well, I think that must have been MCR. And now they're racing down the pit straight. They've seen this in real life, and Crack has to back off completely. That was crazy. Just and a bit silly, really. But I guess I think there's a spinner at turn 1, or maybe someone going slow. I don't know. But we'll go on board with Farrell, and he's coming through the second sector chicane now. Didn't quite catch the first sector split, but it looks very clean through here. Maybe a little bit of slide when he come through that second chicane, but onto the back straight now, down towards Ascari, and the sector 2 split should be right here. He is just down on his previous time, gone very deep into Ascari. Not invalidated, but that would have lost Farrell a lot of time and probably come straight in the pits because he was down anyway before that. So Farrell not getting a clean run in this time around.
No, he certainly didn't. Ryan B, I think, made a... No, he didn't make an improvement, sorry. I'm just trying to see. I don't think anybody actually really made any improvements. Jordan did, as well as Connor O'Keefe. Connor O'Keefe now finally putting a lap time on the board. I think he was one of the only other ones that didn't, but now he's up to P5 in that Ferrari. A few other guys just making their way around the final corner now. Matt Tibbles just start his lap. Crack to, I think, pretty much start his proper lap now as well, because I think he did, he was having that race of MTR beforehand. So they're going to be our two that will come across the line next to finish a lap. I think Jay Hings is out on another outlap yet again, so might have actually taken the softer option and gone for 4 sets of soft compounded tyre, because you can do medium to soft around here. Whether it's an easy strategy, well, I'm not too sure. We'll have to figure that one out as we go along. But yeah, Jay Hinks is starting on his lap now. Crack as well through that first sector split. I didn't really manage to catch what it was, but Matt Tibbles just out in front of him as well. As I say, going through the first Lesmo and then about to go through the second Lesmo for the pair of them as well. Stick on board with Crack, see what he's still doing. Never mind, as I say that, he has a massive slide at the exit of Lesmo 2, so that's Crack's time basically done for at the time being. Matt Tibbles though, 2.5 tenths up on his time, so we'll stick on board with McLaren. Coming through the Ascari chicane now. Probably could take it a little bit tighter on the entry of that and invalidates on his time. So Matt Tibbles, very unfortunately, out of the exit of Ascari, invalidating on his lap time. At least he'll be able to get in and get his fresh set of softs and get back out, as also Scuba just realised made an improvement, and he's still up on his time by 0.03 of a second in that first sector despite running out of ERS. So I'm sure we'll probably see the Irishman maybe make his way back into the pits at the exit of this lap. But yeah, Scuba, if he was still up on his time in that first sector despite running out of ERS, it's got to show that his that his first sector split was the real downfall of what he can do in his time, and possibly we could see him even try and challenge the other Irishman of Farrell towards the top end of this field.
Yeah, watching Matt Tibos there, he came on that Ferrari very quickly at the exit of Ascari. I thought that was going to end in a crash, but then he invalidated and backed off a little bit, got round him. But yeah, I don't know who's actually on a lap now. I think the Ferraris were doing slipstream down the front straight, so I think Mr. Walter is currently on a lap. It said purple to the first sector. I don't know if that's actually correct or not, but Mr. Walter's coming through the Lesmos now, and will open DRS to come down towards Ascari. But yeah, most people are back in the pits, getting a fresh set on for the final run of the session as the sector split. Oh, Mr. Walter invalidates anyway. He was 2.5 tenths up, but that's all been thrown away, and Mr. Walter will make his way into the pits. Anyone else on a lap? No, Crack's coming in the pits. Cooley Kicker has just started a lap, I think. Connor O'Keefe's invalidated.
I think
Farrell
has just started his lap as well.
Oh, he has. Yeah, Matt's 20.6 first run, so time for improvement is and nearly 4 tenths up in that first sector alone. As he brings it through that chicane, looks a bit hot on the brakes, bit deep, struggled to get it turned for that second part as he brings it through Lesmo 1 and Lesmo 2. Nicely through there, keeps it in bounds and opens the DRS now down towards Variante Ascari. Under the bridge of the old banking and up to the sector split. It's now nearly 6 tenths improvement here from Matt's. Bit wide it looked like through there. No, a bit of lag instead. Lovely. As he brings it down towards the final corner at Parabolica. Hardly breakdown here now, it's ridiculous, but power on, and he will go up to the line now. Will he back out? No, he's going to finish this lap, and across the line he goes.
It didn't
And I did
say
not
anything.
see an improvement. No. That's bizarre. He was lagging a bit, so whether that was to do with lag, I don't know. But it did say he was 5 temps up in the middle sector, so let's have a look.
I suppose we'll figure that out at some
Apparent-
point, but that was
Apparently,
strange.
he's not set a third sector.
Oh,
Apparently. He set the other two. That is bizarre. Wow. Okay. New one to me.
yeah, so it is. And now it just says he's back out on an outlap, so now I really am a bit confused. Because he's
That's
definitely
very
not on an
confusing.
outlap.
Hmm.
Very, very strange. Very strange. But right on board at the moment with good old Sweet Ross. In fact, I'm actually going to go on board with Matt Tibos, the other McLaren. Again, 5.5 tenths up on his time now, so this will put him around where Crack and Cooley Kicker are if he can maintain this pace going forward. And I'll go on board with the other McLaren straight after that. But Matt Tibos now just around Parabolica, see what he is able to do. Don't want to go out too wide because then that curb can then just drift you out to the left. But up towards the line comes Matt Tibos. He's looking like a good time here. Up to P3 at 19.486 for the McLaren. Beautiful stuff from Matt Tibos. And now up into P3, throwing his hat in the ring with that. Sweet Ross 26.3 in the first sector. So very good first sector time from Sweet Ross. And now up towards the end of the second sector split, 53.2 overall, as he's invalidated on the inside of Ascari. And I think that's going to be his runs done. Unfortunately for Sweet Ross, no qualifying time on the board whatsoever. So that's his qualifying run done. And yeah, unfortunately for Sweet Ross, he's going to be starting at the very back end of the grid. Sometimes, around Monza though, not necessarily the worst thing you can do.
He may have time. Well, he's got time. No, he's into the bits. Okay. So yeah, that is quality. I'm trying to look who's on a lap at the moment. I think Cam K is. Cam K's up by nearly 2.5 temps on his lap so far. Put him into that kind of, well, cooler kicker range. Well, close to Conor O'Keefe, I would have thought. As Cam K brings it through Parabolica onto the pit straight and up to the line. The American goes P1. Wow, that lap time came out of nowhere, unless the Delta was lying to me. But that was a lot of time found right at the end. Wow, Matt Tibos has retired in fourth, but Cam K up to P1. We've got Farrell and Jay Hings on out laps, and a lot of other people out on a lap. I think Jordan's also done, backed off by the looks of it. But yeah, everyone's still yet to set their laps. As I'm trying to think who's actually the next person to cross the line. There's a Alfa Romeo.
I think it is
That's
Conor
Farrell.
O'Keefe. As I say that, he's
think
just
so.
invalidated on his time, so it's not going to be Conor O'Keefe. It's going to be Crack. Crack sit down at P10 at the moment. He's a tenth, I think, literally about 2 temps up on his time as he exited Ascari. Trying to get a little bit of slipstream off of Conor O'Keefe, and I think Conor's qualifying is pretty much done and dusted. Rex just behind his teammate as well of Crack. So we'll see what both of the Williams are able to do as Crack up towards the line now. It's 19.460 up to P4. The Rex, the American, behind him doesn't improve on his lap time.
No improvement. Incredible. Who's going to be next? There's the Mercs. I think Jordan's done, but Ryan B goes up to 3rd place in the Merc. MCR jumps above Crack into 5th. Cam K's just got around to the pit, so Farrell is coming up to Ascari now. He's down on his time, according to the Delta, by 4 thousandths of a second. Which is actually the exact... Oh, no. There we go. Wow. Pole time smashed at the moment. Mr. Walter up to a 19.1. Farrell needs something special here to take pole. We said it was going to be him. Up to the line. Farrell, can he do it? No, he can't. He doesn't improve. A 19.565 on the final lap for Farrell. No improvement. Going to start this race from 3rd position. Maybe 4th as Scuba comes across the line and does improve, but gains no time. 12th place is on a 19.5. and second's on a 19.3.
What's a bit interesting to
Wow.
me is that I can't lie. It says Mats is on an outlap and he's got 100% ERS, and I can't tell if he's
Yeah.
actually. I don't know what's going on with him, but I'm assuming as soon as he crosses the line, the session will be done. No.
No, he's starting a lap apparently now.
But he's literally he's stuck in fifth gear.
I know it's a bit bizarre. It's all, I think his AI probably might have taken control now. Yeah, his AI's taking control, but it's yeah,
Very interesting. Very, very
bizarre.
interesting. But yeah, I mean, hopefully within the 50 seconds, it should then end and then we'll be able to actually get going. Hopefully Max isn't actually desynced for the pair of us. But yeah, we'll see what goes on with that. But yeah, Mr. Valter out on top. We were just talking about him as well a minute ago. And yeah, you know, he's sitting P4 at the moment in the standings. I said it's probably going to be almost a tall order for him to try and jump up ahead of Farrell. Jumping up ahead of Jordan looks very likely at the moment, considering that Jordan's down in 10th. Bauer in first, they're only 1 point separating them, and can get a massive jump ahead of Corner Kicker and MCR as well, and Rex. All three of those are just behind Mr. Valter by, well, all separated by 6 points, but like between the three of them. So, yeah, Mr. Valter wants to try and get a big jump. And I'm very surprised that wasn't Farrell out on pole. Really surprised Farrell wasn't on pole.
Just couldn't improve on that final lap. It didn't look. I don't know where he actually lost the time, whether it was to do with ERS or something. But he literally came out of the pits, did an outlap, and went straight onto his flying lap. So I have absolutely no idea. I mean, to miss out on second by 4 thousandths is a bit unfortunate. But Cam K did a hell of a lap to put him up there. So you just have to think though that lap from Farrell is his banker lap, his first lap. So I think the lobby is glitched.
Yeah, we might have to have a restart from the looks of things because I'm not sure what's going on with Max's car, so we might have to have a. Yeah, I think we're going to have a restart. So, yeah, what we'll do is we're just going to go into a very quick restart. Hopefully, we'll be able to get this sorted out ASAP. But whilst I'm doing that, surprises at the qualifying? Anyone in particular for you, or anyone that was a bit of a disappointment in qualifying for you?
I mean, my surprise, to be honest, was Cam K. Like, Cam K up in second. I mean, he has good qualifyings, but not all the time. He's normally like in and around the top 6, but he's normally a lot better in the race. I found, especially when I raced against him. But to put it second is a good job. The disappointment, as I don't know if really I should be saying disappointment for someone qualifying third, but Farrell's the disappointment seeing where he's been the whole time, how like what he had, what his banker was, how far ahead he was then, to just not get another clean lap in is it's a bit annoying really and a bit disappointing.
Yeah, no, it certainly is. So, yeah, I think interesting qualifying session. As I say, Valter on top and Kanke in second. They're going to obviously be the ones that are leading us down towards turn 1. That's going to make it a bit interesting as well. See Farrell just behind them, you know, trying to contend with Mr. Valter as well. Anything can happen going down in towards turn 1, 2, and 3, and especially with how tight it is in Monza as well, down towards turn 1, 2, and 3. Literally, anything can happen with that. So, yeah, I think as I say, very, very interesting with what's going to be going on. Yeah, we'll just wait until we get an invite from, of course, our lovely host of the Scotsman of Jordan, and then we'll be able to hopefully get this race straight underway. I mean, who do you reckon is probably going to end up taking this one then, Ross? Do you think Valtter's going to hold on? Do you reckon Cam's going to jump him? Do you reckon Farrell could? I mean, even Ryan B. Do you reckon he could maybe even get a jump, or even Jay Hings?
You'd like to think Farrell will be up there. But we've been in this position a few times with Farrell, where he should be up there and isn't. But I'd still go with him. He's yet to win a race this season. Somewhere along the line, the luck's got to turn, and the Irish have a handy knack of being good at Monza. So
I was going to say that as
God
well.
knows how that's going on in D1 currently, but actually I can check. The Irishman is P11, so he qualified really well. But yeah, Farrell. Who else? Probably.
If you're talking about Irishman, then Scuba as well. If we're going to go with that.
Yeah. I'd like to see if MCR could get himself up to a podium. It is so close; it could literally be anyone. But if you take out Mr. Walter, everything else is but so bunched up behind it. But yeah, I'd like to see if MCR could work his way up. I guarantee he crashes on lap 1 now. I said that because it normally happens every week when I say his name. But yeah, there's yeah, Farrell, MCR, not Gary.
Not Gary. That's the main thing. As long as it's not Gary, then everybody is going to be a-okay. In fact, actually, let's check out what's going on in Division 1 at this present moment, because from what I've heard, it was a very wet qualifying, so...
It was.
So anything can happen going on with that. At the moment, it is QVR Verstappen on top, Sweet Crown in second, or Wouter in second, and Pease now just overtaken by Nathan. So Nathan up into third position as well. As it's trying to connect me to the lobby. I might have to give my game a really quick restart. In fact, no, actually, I'm in. Okay, no, I'm all good.
I need an invite.
Robert Lemo. Getting into the game. But, yeah, I mean, for me personally, I reckon, obviously, no bias. I'd love to see Farrell win it as well. Definitely much better bias with that. But at the same time, I think Mr. Valter could be one that could win this evening as well. So, like I say, anything can happen, anything can go down. In case you also want an update with Division 1, Sweet Crown and Nathan have both overtaken Verstappen, and now Nathan has just gotten past Sweet Crown as well, so he's now up into the lead of the race. But I think he's on a set of the softs, as well, whereas the other two behind him are Sweet Crown and Verstappen are on a set of the medium tyres. So, oh no, Verstappen on a set of softs actually. Ignore me.
I just want to say, if you're not, don't click off this stream, but get something else open so you can watch both streams at the same time, and watch this Marty 1998 masterclass. He's P6. He out-qualified Campbell and Montana. But I don't know how long it's going to last because, you know, the wall and stuff. But P6.
I didn't even realise why he did
that. He's just been overtaken by Montana.
Yeah, I did not even clock that. Fair play, Marty. Fair play, Marty. Yeah, I think we're just waiting for everybody to get themselves back in. I think everybody is back in the session. So, yeah, we're just going to go as soon as Jordan's managed to get the order done. And then, yeah, hopefully we should just be able to get this one underway. So, unfortunately, Crackers had to go due to an emergency. So, we're only going to have we are only going to have 15 drivers for this evening. You are in the lobby, aren't you?
I am.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so, second. But yeah, apologies for this restart. You know, that's how the game goes. It is what it is. What I am going to do is I'm hoping, because I have actually just checked on something, I'm hoping I can use this as a very quick time. Second. I can't see it anywhere. I want to test something. We might be back in just a short moment.
Once you win it, and you've got to go all the way to the end.
Lando into the final corner, his first win of the championship. Lando across the line to win in China.
Because you commit yourself to such a level where there is no compromising. You give everything you have.
The strategy paid off. He had one of the best hits I've ever seen on the medium tires. Next, they'll tell and wins the Monaco Grand Prix.
Deep in it was the final chicane. Rudy's trying to go for it on the inside. There's still both wheels of order. Banging wheels, old school's gone round.
Oh my word! And you need more than anything a very clear mind to understand exactly when is the moment to be aggressive, when is the moment to be calculated.
He spun. Was Brendan spun?
Oh, wing image. Oh, Brendan's out.
He's out of race. Oh my God, he's out of race.
When you are under a lot of pressure, in a critical moment, in a championship or in a particular race, it's the one that can put together the combination between aggressivity and calculating things that will get the best result.
But we know you, unfortunately, so we know what you're gonna do.
Very, very unfortunate indeed. And it's brought a full course safety car out in Division 1, so yeah, I think... Oh no, in fact, actually, the safety car has actually caught up with the rest of them. So Nathan, Verstappen and Matt, 240, are the only ones on the softs, so starting on the softs. And they didn't pit, interestingly enough, so... Yeah, very, very interesting stuff. I would have thought maybe the hards could go at the end from there, but I suppose we'll see if they made the right call or not. Probably Sweet Crown, I think, is in a better shot of winning this evening. Maybe Montana as well, but I think Walter has got a better shot of winning it this evening from the looks of things. But yeah, now we've actually finally gotten the grid done for Division 3. We're just waiting for everybody to pick their setups and their strategies. Hopefully they do forget. They do remember their setups, because if they don't, then they are really going to absolutely butcher it. Ross has just said that the safety car is on broadcast. Don't know why he's only just waiting until now just to say this. But yeah.
Interesting. It is definitely on broadcast.
Lovely. Lovely. But yeah, I said we're just waiting for everybody just to get their, I say their strategies and their setups done, and then hopefully we can get the formation lap straight on the way. Yeah, Mr. Valor on top, K second. We'll see who's going to be the one that comes out on top from all of this as well. Yeah, you said Farrell, you reckon will come out on top, did you say?
Yeah.
Okay, for some reason...
Blind faith.
Our host has just disconnected. Very fun. Very, very fun. I don't know if you can invite him back or what, but... yeah, Jordan unfortunately has disconnected, so hopefully we can get him back in a second ASAP. I can get this going.
I cannot.
So straight away. You can't invite him back. That's
no.
Very annoying. Let me see if I can. Hang on. Get Mr. Jordan JJT. I've invited him back, so.
Here's another session restart.
1 second. Hopefully we won't need to restart a session yet again, because if we do, then it's just going to be... Unfortunately for Division 2, they'll probably be running a little bit late for the pair of us, but...
Oh, what a shame.
Like I said, we'll see what comes about of it. Marty's actually already putting in a strict inquiry as well for Division 1, just in case you're also wondering about what's going on with that. I'm waiting for Jordan just to get back to me to say what's happening. Because as I said, I've invited him back. Everybody's still in the lobby other than Jordan. So we can't exactly restart for what's going on with that. The only reason why we did restart originally was because the whole lobby was glitched. Just continue. Safety car isn't correct, but was in a rush. Okay, so we're just going to be continuing. Okay.
Okay.
So, no restart. We're going to be getting it going. I've invited Jordan back anyway, so he should be able to join hopefully ASAP. And then, yeah, hopefully we'll go with what we've got. So, yeah, we'll see what everybody's able to do. Farrell's on the set of softs. The front two are on a set of medium compound of tyre. Who's going to take the win on this one? Slee Ross and Ryan B in the Red Bull are also on the softs. Everybody else on the mediums. Jay Hings and Conor O'Keefe on the hards. Who's going to come out on top out of the lot of these? We're going to wait for the 5 red lights to make their appearance. Hopefully, should be very, very soon, because nothing's coming up on myself or on my side.
Nope.
And I really hope the lobby isn't glitched again.
Wishful thinking, I think.
I think it is going to be a bit of wishful thinking. Few people have said that they've got black screens. That's not good at all.
RIP to my 1 lap of practice.
Yep. Oh, goodness gracious. Goodness gracious. Yeah. Oh, no, we've got it going. Max has just left, and we've now got it going. So we've got the 5 red lights on. And we are away for round number 7. And it looks like Cam has had the best start of the 2 of them. Cam now up into the lead of this race. Mr. Vanto trying to line up alongside him. Farrell, in fact, had the better start. He's absolutely plowed into the side of Cam K. And not very, very good. Cam hopefully can get that 3-second penalty removed later on. But now Jay Hings has managed to get past Farrell as well. And now we'll see what they're able to do. Sweet Ross getting a 3-second penalty for corner cutting as well. Farrell, Jay Hings alongside each other as well, going down in towards the second chicane, as well as Ryan B also all behind them. Farrell, though, going very deep through that first chicane. The Cam K and Mr. Vanto both side by side. Cam down the inside of the Dutchman in towards the first. Lesmo, is the American going to be able to get the move done? I think he has done. Mr. Vanto does let him go back. And that is him now up into the lead of the race. The American now, very good start from him. Farrell, very, very unfortunate with what has happened with that. Jay Hings now into 4th. And Scuba and Cooley Kicker now side by side of each other, as well as Conor O'Keefe and Ryan B. See if they're able to maybe make up some positions. Scuba around the outside of Ascari in towards the exit of it. He's going to have the outside for that as well. Cooley Kicker and him both doing well to keep it side by side of each other. Trying not to push each other off the track as much as possible. Now up into 7th position. Conor O'Keefe and there's so many that's going on. Almost 4 wide going in towards Parabolica. But Conor O'Keefe now up to 8th. Ryan B up to 7th. Scuba dropped down to 11th after all of that. MCR and Jay Hings both side by side as well, going down towards the first turn. It's an absolute, a chaos show at the start of this race here, Ross. And not only that, the 2 leaders still going at it.
Farrell has quite clearly got some damage on that car. That is, he went full pelt into Ascari and went miles off the track. So the fact he's managing to hold people behind is, I mean, he should have lower downforce actually. He should be quicker in a straight line, but you just look at the two in front as Ryan B has gone up the inside this time around, and Farrell's still fighting it. But Ryan B in the Merc manages to get through the 3 wide coming into Lesmo 1. And that is going to be Jay Hings forced onto the gravel. Somehow manages to hold that really well, actually. So good job there. But Farrell is causing absolute chaos behind him. As now the other Ryan B is trying to get through on Farrell. Farrell just about makes a scary. Manages to get through there, but loses a lot of time. And now Ryan B, he can't do anything in a straight line against Farrell. Just, that's some serious pace. But up the inside of Parabolica, that is well held from both of them. But this is absolute chaos behind Farrell as Cam K comes across the line to start lap 3. DRS will be enabled this time around. And Ryan B gets through on Farrell, but Matt Tibos is coming as well. They were 3 wide. The McLaren up the inside of turn 1, up into P5. Farrell forces his way back through on Ryan B. And he's tagged round. The Red Bull driver is round. Near enough to the back of the field. Rex is a very long way behind. But Farrell is just causing chaos with this broken wing. He absolutely slammed into the side of I think Cam K at turn 1, gave Cam K a penalty and got this massive front wing damage, which is just causing carnage.
It really is causing a lot of carnage. I'm just trying to invite both Jordan and Matt back into the session ASAP so we can get hopefully they can get themselves back in and enjoy the chaos that's ensuing. Maybe they don't know if they actually really want an invite back into the session, but they're asking for it, so I've sent them both an invite now. Hopefully they'll get themselves in ASAP. But yeah, a lot kicking off. Jay Hings going very wide out the exit of Ascari as well. Conor O'Keefe has now managed to get the move done on him. The top 2, well, in fact, the top 3 are probably the only ones that have managed to keep it clean so far. Cam, Mr. Valter and MCR, and Mr. Valter now going for the move on Cam before turn number 1 gets that move done. Now up into the lead of the race is now Mr. Valter. Of course, Cam going to try and probably get that 3 seconds removed by the end of this race, or after the exit of this race. Mr. Valter makes a massive oversteer error and almost smacks into the side of Cam Case. So now Mr. Valter, he still leads the race, but that's going to put a little bit of a dent on his tyres, and not exactly very good for him. Matt Tibos trying to go around the outside of Ryan B in towards the second chicane, and to see if they're able to maybe make a move. Sorry, as Matt Tibos gets into P4 and now up, trying to chase down MCR for the final podium position.
See, every person I say is going to do well just gets cursed. But I'm going to say this week it's not particularly my fault because, I mean, I made a comment about Specsavers offering free ID checks for over 65s. It looks like Farrell might actually need that after what happened at turn 1, but he's still hanging on to P7. Actually, he's right up behind Scuba, so he's still hanging on in there on those soft tyres, but they're gonna be hurting by the end of this. We've gone back onto the pit straight. Cam K gonna have DRS this time around and should fly back past into turn 1, although not as easy as I would have thought, but he does get that move done before the braking zone. The Alpine driver back into the lead of this race. We've got Ryan B going back past Matt Tibos for P4, and I think Farrell getting through on Conor O'Keefe for P6. So yeah, he is hanging in there very well. Behind, not a lot going on. The two AI cars are neck and, well, they were neck and neck. They're now tail to tail. With Matt's behind Jordan, and they cannot rejoin the session. Apparently, it does not exist. So God knows there. But their AI can have a fun little battle at the back. But at the front, Cam K has did manage to pull out an 8/10 lead coming down the back straight. whether he can drop Mr. Wouter out of DRS, he can. Mr. Wouter had a wobble coming through Ascari, and this is Cam K's opportunity to drop him, but he's not using enough. It was close at the DRS detection point. It was very, very close. We'll have to wait and see whether Mr. Wouter gets DRS. I'm leaning towards him having gear, but he doesn't. No, he doesn't. So Cam K did just about enough to drop him out of DRS. That could be big if Cam K can keep him out again this time around. That could be, yeah, that could massively change how this race is going to go. Mr. Watt are going to have to use a lot more battery to stay with Cam K if that is the case. Behind, not much has changed in the meantime. But Cam K, yeah, gapped.
I've just seen Sui Ross defend against the two ghosts going down towards turn 1. That was, I can't lie, that did make me chuckle. So, yeah, Sui Ross going a bit defensive on the two ghosts of Max and Jordan. They're trying to battle Sui Ross for 10th place, interestingly enough. Of course, Sui Ross also has a penalty, so anything goes down with those two there. But, yeah, a lot of gaps have now formed through the top 5. Obviously, Matt Tillos is just about clinched on the DRS to the back of Ryan B. But I don't know if that's going to be able to last for the McLaren drivers. So they're just making their way through Ascari now. Yeah, Mr. Vato's been completely dropped out of DRS. As I say that, though, he's managed to actually claw it back in only just onto the back of the American. So, but the thing is, he makes a little bit of a mistake going through Parabolica. And, yeah, unfortunately, all that time that he made up has now just basically been dropped again. So, yeah, I think it's... yeah, I think it's a bit interesting what's going on with those two. But, yeah, Mr. Vatta just about clawing himself back into DRS. Matilda's getting back past Ryan B. Conor O'Keefe now getting past Farrell as well for P6. And now the Ferrari in the Alfa Romeo. Maybe Farrell didn't actually pick up damage. It might have just been the overheat of tyres that he may have had. Or might have some side pod damage from that start. So, I suppose, well, the only person that knows is actually really Farrell.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be shocked if he didn't have damage. I mean, the front wing looks intact, but that could literally mean anything on this game. He just looks all over the place, and he still doesn't look... He still looks like he's struggling a little bit through corners. But, I mean, he's going along fine. Conor O'Keefe has now dropped him, so whether that's just the soft starting to drop off, I don't know. Ryan B is back through on Matt Tibos. Matt Tibos very wide through Ascari. Massive error. And that gap has opened right back up. Mr. Wouter, I think, might have just held on to DRS. We'll have to see. Yes, he did. It was 1.2, 1.3 coming out of turn 1, so he must have had a really poor run through there. But Cam K is just about doing enough at the moment. Cam K is still with 75% of the ERS. Mr. Wouter on 16, so massive differences there between the top two. MCR not far behind in the distance, has kept himself in play, and I said look at MCR to try and jump his way up towards the podium. He's there at the moment. He's got a decent-ish gap behind, but quite a big gap in front to try and make up, as Mr. Wouter now only 5 tenths off the back of the race leader, as they're going to bring it down towards Ascari. I think probably too far back, probably doesn't risk it going into Variant Ascari, but we'll set him up very nicely to retake the lead on the pit straight this time around, as we're close to a third of the way through this race after all the faffing about at the start. So yeah, interesting start. Mr. Wouter lining up P1 yet again, takes a narrower line through Parabolica, and will open the DRS now. Has saved a bit of ERS on this lap, will surely go for the lead. Yes, leaves it very late to pull out up the inside. There's a yellow flag at the final corner. That's Sui Ross out of the race. Is that going to cause a safety car? Is it far enough off the track? It's gone already, so no safety car for the McLaren retiring, and we carry on with Mr. Walter in the lead.
Yeah, so now Mr. Valtteri got himself back into the lead of the race, as you say. MCR starting to close up to the back of these two ever so slightly. And I feel like Cam might have been pushing his tyres a bit too much now, because you can see, even though he's got quite a lot of ERS to play with, he's just starting to struggle that extra bit more than what Mr. Valtteri was. To say that Mr. Valtteri has a little bit of a slide out of second Les mode. But Cam was really starting to struggle that bit more through corners than what the Dutchman was out in front of him. But at the moment, he's just content with sitting behind him. He's got 80% left of ERS to play with. Mr. Valtteri's only got 20%. So realistically, Cam is in a much better position than the Dutchman in the Ferrari. I feel like Cam. I think Cam is probably going to end up taking a win in this race. Obviously, after that penalty's been removed, but again, anything can happen. He's going to use a little bit of that ERS just so he can make it the pass on Mr. Valtteri that bit easier for him. DRS, of course, wide open. The American now back up into the lead of this race. Max and Jordan, the duel of the ghosts for P11 and P12. P10 and P11 now, shall I say, because of Sweetwater's crash. They are still neck and neck with each other, but Jordan is the one that is up ahead in terms of that. But unfortunately, they won't get themselves any points because they are not in their cars. And in fact, actually, as I say, that Max has actually gone past Jordan. So, yeah, the Battle of the Ghosts is well and truly on between those two.
Yes, it is. As back at the front, it's as you were, Mr. Walter, just in that DRS. I think Mr. Walter really struggles to stay with Cam K through that middle sector, relying on the slipstream and the DRS to stay with him. Because Cam K, you watched on the previous lap, Cam K could stay 3-4 attempts back, and I mean it was only one lap before he re-overtook. But Mr. Walter has managed to save quite a lot of ERS on this lap, back up towards 40%, so is slowly saving it. I think if I'm Cam K, I'm looking to, if I hold the lead this time around into turn one, I'm looking to use some of that, pull away, gap the second, or as much as I can, and then look to regain some, build that gap. Use it where you've got it, as Mr. Walter stays in behind on lap 11. Further back, Matt Tibos still up behind Ryan B. No changes there, as Jay Hings is the first driver to come into the pits for a new front wing. I was going to say that's an early stop for a hard runner, but front wing going on the Alpha Tauri will come out, well, I think right at the back of the field is Ryan B, and the Red Bull is coming along right now. There he goes. But Jay Hings, change of wing on lap 11. So don't know what happened there, but clearly enforced stop. As I've actually just looked, MCR is slowly chipping into this top two. It's below 2 seconds now. It was up at 3, so. I mean, the slipstream will have a difference, but he is slowly getting back towards the top two. He's not out of this by any shout. I think it's this point in the race I'd start to be curious which way the medium runners go on strategy. Whether they go for stay out longer for the softs or they come in soon for the hards. But it's around this time, I would have thought. If they're going for hards, they'd be in this around now. But they may see it out, go a bit longer.
I think that's what's happening. I think they're going to stay. They're waiting it out. They're going longer on a set of the mediums so that they can go on the softs at the end. I'm just watching the two Irishmen battling it out of Farrell and Scuba. Farrell actually just got a move done on Scuba for P7. I'm surprised those softs aren't almost at like puncture territory for the Irishman. So he's doing well with them, and he's in fact actually pulled out a bit of a gap to Scuba as well. So yeah, Farrell doing a good job, and he's started to catch up to Conor O'Keefe ever so slightly more as well. So yeah, fair play to Farrell for still making these softs work, but surely he's got to come in for a set of mediums on this lap if he doesn't want to lose too much time, and has an opportunity to then actually gain a bit more time onto the back of Conor O'Keefe, because then you've got to think Conor O'Keefe, as long as he's on the hards, he's going to probably go for a set of the softs towards the end. I think that might be his strategy. And he's starting to catch up to the back of Ryan B in the Mercedes rather than obviously Ryan B in the Red Bull, who's down in P13, 8.1 seconds behind Corny Kicker. But at the moment, because of both Jordan and Max being here, he is actually technically in a net P11. So, yeah, he'll still be scoring points at the moment. If he goes behind Jay Hings, then he'll only be scoring 1 point. As Ryan B in the Mercedes, as I was talking about him, into the pits. Farrell does make his way into the pits now, so he's going for a set in the mediums. Means that Ryan B has got to be going. He is for a set of the hard compounded tyres to the end of the race. So that's going to be interesting. Very mixed strategy going on now, I think, with the rest of these guys. A lot of them are going to be on a set of the mediums. A lot of them are going to be on a set of the softs. And obviously a couple on the hards at the end of this race.
There's a front wing change for an Alfa Romeo. So that confirms a lot of things. It wasn't visually damaged, but it was damaged. As he has Ryan B and Jay Hings battling down the pit straight behind him. They're going to come out, well, Farrell's going to come out just in behind. On cold tyres, there's a little bit of a tap, but Farrell can now go with a completely new front wing. Might actually be able to turn some corners now. He was 7th before that, so let's see what Farrell can do. He's obviously lost a fair bit of time changing the front wing, but that will massively improve the lap times he's going to be able to do, especially in this middle sector. At the front, it's still as you were, and I think MCR is coming into the pits from the mediums.
Ooh.
Is this going to be soft or hard as Ryan B picks up, the Mercedes Ryan B picks up a penalty? MCR's going on to hard compound tyres for 14 laps at the end of this race. So as Scuba comes in at the same time and puts on the soft. So interesting call from MCR. I think that's the suggested strategy. Whether it pays off or not, I don't know. It definitely make it to the end on those tyres. There's my concern about tyre wear. It's whether it's the quickest way to go. But just come out in 5th. Was on the podium before, so and with the undercut, could be quite nice to him. Could gain a fair bit of time before the others come into the pits. Lap 14. Who knows who pulls the trigger next? Cam K still leading by just under 9/10, and the ERS difference has now completely flipped on its head.
Yeah, so Cam now going to be starting with a bit more or a bit less ERS in comparison to Mr. Lauer after all of that. Fully pick up all over the back of Rex as well, leading down in towards Ascari. I was just watching the board towards the back end of the field, the battle between Farrell and Ryan B, and unfortunately Farrell, just watching that, was slightly forced out in towards turn 1 by Ryan B, and then Farrell got his revenge and forced out Ryan B out of turn number 2. Cam and Connor O'Keefe both into the pits. Cam going on a set of the hards, Connor O'Keefe on a set of the mediums, because you started on a set of the hards, so he is now on probably the preferred strategy of being on the mediums to the end of the race. But yeah, Cam on the hards, probably not the best thing to see, but maybe just trying to cover off MCR's undercut, which is fair enough, that is completely fair. But I would have thought you'd hang out maybe a couple extra laps, you'd be on a set of softs to go to the end. Even if you are behind MCR and Ryan B, it's still not going to be the hardest thing to overtake 2 of the hard runners. So it does surprise me that he has come in and chucked on the hard. But then again, I suppose just if you want to solidify your spot up ahead of those 2, you may as well do the exact same things what they're doing anyway. So that's probably the reason why he's done that, which is fair enough. I said that's completely fair enough. So it's just whether Mr. Valter is going to pit this lap. Matt Tibos is going to pit this lap as well. He's 5 seconds behind Mr. Valter. Those mediums are definitely starting to go off. So let's have a look and see. Mr. Valter, are you coming into the pits? You certainly are. We'll see what tyres he is able to go on. Matt Tibos, are you coming in? You're not coming in. Okay, so you're staying out. He's going to inherit the race lead. And Ryan B, in fact, actually pitting it early. I think that was probably the smarter choice for him, because he was out of the DRS from MCR. He's now clawed it back in because of making that earlier pit stop onto the hards. So he's now, that's what I would have said. If you're at least towards the back end of the field, maybe it is better to then put on a fresher set of the tyres. So at least then you've got a bit more of a jump. Because look, now Mr. Vata, he's going to come out. Is he going to come out in front of MCR? He is only just coming out in front of MCR, but he's on a set of the softs, 2.8 seconds behind Cam K. So he's now in a very good opportunity, catching up to Cam K, overtaking him, and just staying out in front of him. You've got to remember, Cam K only got that 3-second penalty because of what happened at the start with him and Farrell. So, yeah, realistically, it's up to Cam to try and get that gap ahead of Mr. Vata, but you can just see already in the first sector alone, he's dropped it by 6 tenths of a second. So, I think Cam has made the wrong decision of going on the hard, but what else can you do about it, eh?
Yeah. It's a tough one to call. It is a tough one to call. If you haven't done the right amount of practice, which, I mean, I'm one to speak here, but knowing how much the tyre is going to wear, it is a guess. As Matt Tibos makes his way into the pits, should probably come out somewhere between Connor O'Keefe and Scuba, I'd have thought, depending on how much time he's been undercut by. He's going on the softs himself. That gap between Cam K and Mr. Wow is already down to 1.5 seconds. So just look at how quickly that's coming down. Matt Tibos is going to come out ahead of Scuba. Is it going to be close? Not particularly. So he's come out in 6th place. Farrell, after all of that, is only down in 9th. So not completely out of it after that wing change. Lost 2 positions. But as I think Ryan B, did Ryan B just get through on MCR? Yes, he did. We have Mr. Wouter already in DRS range of Cam K. It took what, a lap and a half? Not much of a challenge really. It's 2 compounds softer, DRS open. Here we go. The thing is with Mr. Wouter, he's got to be able to pull away straight away. If he allows Cam K to hang around, it's going to cause problems for him in the last couple of laps of this race. But he's all over the back of the Alpine now. Cam K actually trying to warm up his tyres down the back straight towards Parabolica. Clearly not liking the grip of these hards, but as Connor O'Keefe gets through on the Aston Martin of MCR, but there goes Mr. Wouter, fastest lap, lead of the race. But can he pull away now? That's the main thing. He needs to pull away. So they're all swapping positions behind. Connor O'Keefe now into 3rd. Ryan B goes from 3rd down into 5th position now. But Mr. Wouter, 6 tenths at the front. Can he drop Cam K and give himself a great opportunity to win this race at Monza in front of the Tifosi, the Ferraris, currently 1 and 3, as Rex gets the fastest lap, but Italy going wild for the LOE D3.
Certainly are. Yeah, they certainly are. I mean, even then,
yeah.
Like even before the penalties removed, you know, it still means that Connor O'Keefe will actually finish in the next 2nd position before that penalty is removed. So yeah, 1-2 for the Ferraris around Monza in Division 3. I'm sure the animated Tifosi will be very happy with what's going on with that. But yeah, in fact, Connor O'Keefe almost putting out that 1 second gap to MCR in 1 lap alone. So Connor O'Keefe is absolutely flying at the moment. Cam, you've got to give it to him though. He's managed to stay within DRS of Mr. Valter, but they're now both very low on that ERS, on the ERSs. So yeah, it's now really a battle of maintaining your tyres, especially Mr. Valter on those softs, maintaining the tyres, and as soon as they do hit that drop-off point, then just being able to try and do your best of holding on up ahead of one another. But yeah, realistically, Mr. Valter's tyres will probably go off quicker than what Cam's would, despite being a lap holder. Of course, the harder tyres are a lot more durable in comparison to the soft tyres. So, yeah, I think it's going to make it very difficult. As MCR and Ryan B, I think, was side by side going through Cava Grande, but yeah, Ryan B had to back out of that one, and MCR, the Spaniard, maintains P4, now dropped out of DRS from Connor O'Keefe as well. Connor, as I said, absolutely flying, and he has a lot of ERS to play with as well. He's got 50% ERS still left, and he's 2.5 seconds behind Cam, and could end up getting the jump on Cam towards the end of this race, despite not having any DRS for him to play with. If he just maintains his pace that he's going at the moment, though, he may end up joining those two at the top in a DRS train very soon.
Yeah, they could do, because they aren't really making any progress now. Mr. Wouter got to the front, but he's not pulling away. Kamke fairly easily able to stay with him, actually. So even though there's two tyre compounds difference, that is very late on the brakes from Kamke. Nearly slams right into the back of the Ferrari, and that might be the chance that Mr. Wouter needs to pull away. As Ryan B gets a 5-second penalty for corner cutting. So don't quite know how that happened. I didn't see that one, but yeah, gone flying over one of the curbs, lost a position in the process, and 5-second penalty. Corner kicker does the fastest lap of the race, and Conor O'Keefe is now within 2 seconds of the leaders, so he is closing, and he should get there before the end of the race, I would have thought. But they're not pulling away. Kamke doesn't quite have enough to actually re-overtake for the lead of this race on the hards, and probably pretty content to just sit in behind for the moment. But yeah, it's bringing Conor O'Keefe right into this battle.
It is 1.7 seconds now separates Cam and Connor. Cam, again, DRS wide open, and I feel like we're going to see the American go for this move on Mr. Wouter. You can see how much he's closing up down in towards turn number 1. He's going for that move down the inside in towards turn 1. Mr. Wouter, I don't think he's going to try and fight that too hard. Now back up into the lead of the race goes Cam K. Mr. Wouter now down into second, and as you say, Conor O'Keefe is starting to join the fray. They're saying that I think he had a bit of a bad exit out of turn number 2, but yeah, Mr. Wouter really now, those soft tyres for him are definitely starting to go off, as you can see the red flashing light on the back of the American's car of Cam K. But yeah, Mr. Wouter, he's now got to try and pull something out of the bag in hopes that he's also got to hope that Cam's tyres then start to degrade probably within the next 2 to 3 laps. Otherwise, Mr. Wouter, I don't think he's going to be winning this race and could end up falling under threat from his teammate behind him. But the Ferrari's riding very well so far in second and third. As I say, it'll be first and second technically soon, but yeah, I think Cam, we'll see if he's able to hold on to the lead very, very shortly, as Conor keeps so close to getting himself into that DRS zone.
Yeah, he's going to get there anyway. I think I wouldn't have, if I'm Mr. Wouter there, I don't back off. I get as close to Cam K as possible and re-overtake him for the lead of the race, as he does there. It's just, I feel like this is going to be swapped a fair few times now in the next 5 laps before the end of this race. But Mr. Wouter retakes the lead. Ryan B in the Mercedes has managed to close back up to MCR after his little trip across turn 1 or turn 2 or whatever corner he cut. But so it's pretty much just this battle, these 2 battles at the front going on at the moment. Conor O'Keefe so close, misses out on DRS again, down to Ascari. Can he get it on the exit going down towards Parabolica? Will he get DRS on that pit straight? 1.3 is the gap. It needs to be under a second. It's 1.1. It's so close to being in that 1 second window, but he's going to miss out yet again, I think. Just by tenths of a second. The second Ferrari is yet again outside of the DRS range. So Cam K will go for overtake, probably, I don't know, 15 for the lead in this race. As the red light is flashing, the Alpine up the inside, the Ferrari driver on the outside. Not much Mr. Walter can do to defend that one, but gets a good run out of the corner and has the outside line around Curva Grande, has the ERS on. Kamke not using the ERS to defend, and the Ferrari flies back past into P1 with on lap 23 of this race. We're getting right down to it now. It's a Ferrari leading at Monza, but there he is in the background, Conor O'Keeffe. That gap is still the same, just cannot break into DRS range. But Kamke's a hell of a lot closer than he's ever been down this stretch of track. That is an interesting, that is just about on the limit, that defense from Mr. Walter. But is that enough for his teammate to have a chance of getting DRS? Is it enough for Conor O'Keeffe to finally break in and get that rear wing open? It looks like it will be. They're so close into Parabolica, they almost come together. Kamke drifting towards the back of that Ferrari, but Conor O'Keeffe this time around does have the rear wing open. He's arrived in this battle for the lead as Kamke retakes the lead yet again. The second Ferrari has finally made it to this battle at the start of lap 24. So we're going to get 4 laps, or 3 and a bit laps of a freeway battle for the lead if we completely ignore Kamke's penalty, which should get removed barring other warnings. But this could be very interesting down the pit straight next time around. If Conor O'Keeffe's close enough, both the Ferraris could get through. So yeah, 3 and a bit laps to go. Kamke leads, but he has these 2 red monsters behind him with the DRS open. One on softs, one on mediums. Conor O'Keeffe's got to be absolutely buzzing with this. He's on the right tyre out of all of them. Mr. Wouters has got to be dying. Kamke's probably haven't even kicked in yet. Conor O'Keeffe, 9 lap old mediums, pretty much exactly where you want them, and he's got an absolute worldie of an opportunity to win this race from here on out.
Yeah, he certainly does, and I feel like Mr. Valtteri is probably going to get past Kamke, but is Conor O'Keeffe also going to follow his teammate? Let's have a look and see. In fact, from what it looks like, I think the 2 Ferraris might end up stopping here. I don't think Mr. Valtteri is going to be able to do it. No, he does actually go for it. Conor O'Keeffe, he's going to go for it on Kamke, sorry, down towards turn 1. Looks inside, tries the outside, has the inside, spins Cam around. Conor does let him go back in front, but that was a little bit... well, it was a little bit silly from Conor O'Keeffe. Fortunately for him, he has given the position back, but I think he was just a bit too eager. I think he was thinking he might have been able to sneak it up the inside into the exit of turn 2, but entry of turn 2, sorry, but unfortunately he wasn't able to do that. So yeah, meant that now Cam is 2 seconds behind Mr. Valtteri, and I think Conor O'Keeffe has given a perfect opportunity for his teammate to win this race this evening. Well, saying that, Mr. Valtteri has just lost half a second in those 2 corners alone through Lesmo 1 and Lesmo 2. So I wonder if Cam's going to be able to catch back up to the back of the Ferrari out in front of him. With just under 2 laps to go, and that's Cam with a penalty. So Cam now definitely has a 3-second time penalty, and that is basically done for the lead of the race. Cam versus Conor O'Keeffe. Cam trying to play the DRS game, let Conor O'Keeffe back in front of him, and is going to get the DRS on the back of Conor O'Keeffe. The Montana strategy, as I'd like to call it, because the detection zone is at the beginning of Parabolica, and he does let him buy it through at that point. So yeah, Cam, I don't think very happy with what's gone on, but that's how racing goes, I suppose. Doesn't actually even get back past Conor O'Keeffe either after even letting him go. So yeah, I think that was a bit of a flawed one from Cam there. But now it's up to Conor O'Keeffe to try and chase down his teammate for the win of this race, as Ryan being the Red Bull picks up yet another 3-second time penalty. I mean, there's no one really behind him other than the 2 ghosts who are dueling out. By the way, if you're interested in the Battle of the Ghosts, it is Jordan still out in front of Matson. So the host of the lobby, or was host of the lobby, is still in P13, up ahead of the ghost of Mr. E. Cosmats. But yeah, Conor O'Keeffe, in fact, has almost caught up to DRS with Mr. Watt already, despite being on 1 lap older tyre, on the harder compounder tyre as well. Conor O'Keeffe, there is still an opportunity for him to win this race in this last lap.
There's only one lap left. On a variation of very famous words by the late great Ayrton Senna, if gap, put car. But the important thing being if gap, and there was no gap for Conor O'Keefe in that turn 2 incident with Kamke. So that could be a very interesting Shrewd report towards the end of, throughout the week. But he is, he's not got DRS this time around on his teammate. He is completely out of ERS, is Conor O'Keefe. But he is there, and Mr. Wout has just gone wide at turn 1, and he's got to deal with his teammate, who has appeared from nowhere, actually. If we check positions gained, Conor O'Keefe started in P10. Mr. Wouter started on pole. So the Ferraris are 1-2 with half a lap to go of Monza. Conor O'Keefe, he's got a massive opportunity down into Ascari. That has to be his chance, his one and only chance, really, to get through on his teammate, who I think is just really struggling on those soft tyres. And it's done. Conor O'Keefe leads this race with 3 corners to go, and I don't think there's anything either Kamke or Mr. Wouter can do to take the lead back off him. Conor O'Keefe from P10 is going to round the final corner without mistake and take home, lead home a Ferrari 1-2 at Monza as Conor O'Keefe crosses the line to win from his teammate Mr. Wouter. Will Kamke hold on to third on penalties before that one gets looked at? No, he does not. But he will when that gets looked at,
Certainly does. But wow, Conor O'Keefe out of nowhere does end up taking the win. And those mediums looked so much better than those softs and the hards at the end of that race. And fair play to Conor. Obviously, there's probably going to be a stewards report coming out between Conor and Cam of what happened. But in fairness to Conor, he did let Cam go back on through afterwards. He may just get some license, but I don't think he'll get the win taken away from him. But yeah, Conor takes the win this evening. Bouter in second, and Cam, after he gets that penalty removed, in third. But at the moment, MCR is the one that will stand on that podium in third position. So fair play to him. And Conor O'Keefe, driver of the day, he drove his heart out and he definitely done it. And I feel like it is deserved. It's a little bit of a dark cloud on it, but it is definitely deserved, considering that he started in 10th and ended up, winning the race. So, yeah, fair play to Conor for that one. Fair play to Mr. Wouter and Cam, obviously having a nice little clean battle towards the front end as well. MCR and Ryan B, they were having a nice little battle. Again, not too sure what happened with Ryan B after picking up that 5-second penalty, but yeah, I suppose we'll have to find out after the stream has ended, what actually went on with those guys. But yeah, it is him that does take the win in the end, and wow, it worked.
He is him. Yeah, he is most definitely him. After, Imola losing out on penalties at the end, but backs it up in Monza, winning the thing. Obviously, slight discrepancy over that turn 2 incident, but he didn't get the overtake completed there, and he went on, completed the overtake somewhere else, and takes the lead of the race. So Conor O'Keefe wins from Mr. Wouter and MCR. Currently, I think Kamke will get that third place back, so it will drop MCR back down to 4th. Matt Tibos finishes in 5th, with Ryan B in 6th in the end after penalties. Scuba and Farrell, the 2 Irishmen, 7th and 8th. Jay Hings in 9th. Cooley Kicker 10th. Rex 11th. Ryan B in the Red Bull in 12th. Then the AI pair, Mats and Jordan, in 13th and 14th. And Sweeros are 1 retirement. In 15th place in the end.
No safety car either, interestingly enough. So, fair play, because I think in Division 1 there was 3 or 4 different safety cars going on. But in this one, no safety cars whatsoever. So, again, fair play to everybody. There was still some clean moments, but there's also some little shoves and pushes, which we'll probably see towards, in that stewards room with that as well. But Next week, as I said, unfortunately, I am not here and I'm going to be missing an absolute corker of Monaco. So that's going to be fun. That's going to be fun for you, Ross. Hopefully, you have some fun watching Monaco with that. But yeah, any sort of final words for the race for this evening?
It was an interesting battle for the lead. There was a lot going on. I will say, not specifically about the race tonight, but about next week, I may have to draft someone in because Monaco on my own could get very interesting. So we'll see who I can recruit. But looking forward to it, shall I say?
Yeah, we'll see how that does end up going. I'll probably keep an eye out on that as well throughout the stream. But yeah, thanks to everybody that has tuned in for this evening. Make sure you guys are checking out the League of Europe channel. We're very close to 1,000 subscribers, so if you are new, make sure you are subscribing to the channel. Make sure you guys are checking out Division 2 and Division 4. As you can see by the top right of your screen, getting an invite for Division 2. That is covered by, well, it would be Old School and NSX Montana, but I think it is just Montana for this evening, due to Old School being out for an injury. And that'll be at 8:10 p.m. BST or British Summer Time, UK time. And Division 4 at 8:10 p.m. BST as well, covered by QVR Verstappen. And then, of course, as I say, next week, 6:30 p.m. BST, Division 1 and Division 3. Division 1 covered by Oxide Nova and QVR Killer. And Division 3 will be with RJ. Not myself next week, as I say, but I will hopefully be back the week after. Well, depending on what time I end up finishing with that as well. So you guys do not want to miss out whatsoever on any of these races, because the championship is now going to start to ramp up, as you've seen through this evening. But thanks to everybody that has tuned in this evening. And we'll catch you guys next week for round number 8